Namaste everyone. Welcome to Advaita Vedanta Satsang House. The ongoing sessions are on Bhagavad Gita, offered by Bindoji from an Advaita perspective. We are on chapter 6, room number 9. All the earlier rooms are available. You can access them in Clubhouse as replays in the house, or you could go to the link shared in the chat. The most used one is the Advaita Retold YouTube channel, which is very well catalogued. The two other repositories are Apple Podcasts and Spotify, where you can access these talks. A book has been penned by Artemisia Thuria, who is a founder of this house, which is based on Bindoji's insights into Advaita. That's available on Amazon for a companion reading. When Bindoji is offering the class, I will close the chat and hand raising, and those channels will be open right after Bindoji finishes his class for any clarifications or questions that we want to clarify pertaining to the class. As always, thank you very much, Bindoji. Over to you.
Thank you, Prakash. Namaste and Hari Om to all of you. My invocations. Om Namo Brahma Dibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Amsha Rishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Shruti Smriti Purana Namalayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashi Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murtibheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. The Gita Dhyana Shlokam. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyai Stavai Vedai Sangapadakrammo Upanishadai Gayanti Yam Samaga Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyandam na vidussura suragana Devaya tasmai namaha Devaya tasmai namaha Devaya tasmai namaha. Om. We saw that Krishna has given us the framework of dhyana, meditation, through which a sadhaka, arurukshu, can become arudaha, yuktaha, or realized person. The next four verses, Krishna is making sure that the understanding of this process of meditation is not a activity per se which excludes us from the social living. That means his explanations in the next 4 verses, which I want to complete in one go today, without much philosophy in it, is to take us through our mundane life or worldly life which we are living as a complementary activity of the dhyana. See, normally what runs in the mind of people is that when you are into meditation or when you are into dhyana, you are running away from the social responsibilities and social living and secluding yourself into the activity of dhyana. When we see through the next 4 verses, we will clearly understand that Krishna is giving us the direction not to take the meditation or the dhyana in a wrong understanding. This is very important. Let us go through the verses so that during that time I can explain why Krishna is mentioning these verses which are not related to dhyana. But it is not that it is not related to dhyana, it is a complementary to dhyana. So the 16th verse, na atyasnuta tu yogi asti na cha ekanta ekantam anasnata na cha ativa swapnashilasya jagrato naiva charjuna. Here he is addressing Arjuna himself directly, saying, hey Arjuna, atyasnuta tu yogi na asti. The yogi does not exist for the one, or the yoga does not exist for the one who eats excessively. Asna means eat. Asnataha means one who eats. Atyasnataha means who eats excessively. Ekantam anasnata cha yogaha na asti. Not only to the one who is eating excessively, nor for the person who abstains from eating entirely, going into a starving. Plus, he is adding, ati swapna shilasya cha yoga na asti. For the one whose nature is excessive sleep, jagrata cha na eva yogi asti. Nor indeed one who is always wakeful, means lack of sleep. So here Krishna is being very clear about two things. Yet in the prima facie it may look that he is talking about eating and sleeping. One who eats excessively, for him yoga will not be possible. Nor for the one who abstains starving or going into a, starving tapas. People do that thinking that, starvation or abstaining from eating and doing meditation will be the best way to do yoga. Even that is not. Krishna says that. Then the two category which he said, who sleeps excessively and who does not sleep at all. Now the people who say that I only sleep for 3 hours, I am doing meditation early morning at 2:30 in the morning, I wake up, Brahma Kala, the Brahma Muhurta, I wake up and do the meditation, etc. And then the other extreme is the people who are lethargic and lazy, who think that, even sleeping is a form of meditation. So he is saying that these 4 categories apparently are not people who can be successful in yoga. But on the intended meaning which Krishna is saying is that the ahara is not just food alone. It is feeding of the senses, which is the ahara, which is being asnata, which is being mentioned. So the one who is feeding excessively the sense organs is a person who is indulging in the sensual activities. A person who is sensual activities are on the higher level, he has no potency or no method which is possible for doing the yoga. If we remember the earlier verses, Prashandatmanaha and Nirendriya. So he has said that how to control the indriyas. So one who eats excessively and one who abstains from this thing, thinking that, the indriyas engagement is bad for the yoga. he is starving the Indriyas and sitting for the yoga. Krishna says, no, it is not possible for those people because their attention is not into the yoga and the target of the yoga. Their attention is to either engage or restrain. Same case with sleep and waking. The attention is not on meditation. So those people cannot achieve any form of success in the yoga. Not only that, he says that in the next verse, which is the verse number 17, he says that, where is that verse 17? He says, Yuktahara viharasya, yukta cheshtasya karmasu, yukta swapna avabodha, yogaha bhavati dukkha. Now, a person who is yuktahara means one whose food and movements are regulated. The middle path is neither in excessive nor abstaining from that. Therefore, the yukta ahara vihara. Ahara means feeding of the sense organs. Vihara is the engagement of the organs of action. So, one who is regulated, yuktaha means regulated or middle path. Then yukta cheshtasya karmasu, whose effort in actions is regulated. Not only his movement, but his actions are also regulated. Here, the actions is to be included is the internal actions. Because why should Krishna say vihara and cheshta? Cheshta is not action here. The cheshta is the, what you call, the activities of the sukshma sharira. The mano, buddhi, ahankara, chitta, etc. Then, yukta swapna avabodhasya. Swapna avabodha. Swapna is to indicate the sleep. Avabodha is the waking. That is, he is neither excessive in sleep nor abstaining from sleep. Yogaha dukkha bhavati. Yoga, when he does as explained in the earlier verses, becomes the destroyer of suffering. Dukkha, dukkha hananam, means the reason for his suffering, reason for destroying the suffering. So, yukta ahara viharasya, one whose food and movement are regulated, are measured, is about the physical body. Yukta cheshtasya karmasu is about the subtle body, one whose effort, activity, and actions and duties, etc., are regulated. So, physical body, the mental body, and then the sushupti. That is why yukta avabodhasya. So when he says this three, he lives a moderated life. Waking, dream, and deep sleep. All the three states is included. That yukta aharasya, the waking state. Yukta cheshtasya karmasu is to indicate about the subtle body. And yukta avabodhasya is about the causal body or the sushupti avastha. And when he is doing this as yuktaha in a regulated manner, which we see that as activities in day-to-day life, where the yoga is taking place as explained, where prashantat manasa, then indriya controls, all those things which he had mentioned in the verses earlier from 10 to 14, that is being conducted not only not sometimes he is seated in the chair seat or where the yoga is being mentioned, but he retains that activity of remembering of Atman or Brahman, which is the culmination of the yoga or the seated yoga meditation into his life on a day-to-day basis, where he becomes the yukta ahara vihara karma yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta avabodhasya. So Jagrat Swapna Sushupti is the place where he is remembering about the, Atma Brahma Aikya, which he has realized in his meditation, also in his day-to-day life. That when he does, only then that becomes a destroyer of suffering. See, we do meditation sitting in place and then think about Atma and Brahman and then do Shravana Manana and Nidhyasana on the side. That and the connection with our problems in life, which is the dukkha. How do we connect it? These two. The link between the dhyana success, where Brahma Atma Aikya is the culmination, that and our day-to-day life where the problems are being there, has to be brought in unison. Then only the knowledge which we get in the meditation can be working for the benefit of our living. Otherwise, why should somebody meditate if it is only to know the Atma and the Brahman is Aikya? By reading the Upanishad, then we can get the knowledge that Atma and Brahma are one and the same. Just as gold is the same for all ornaments or the mud is the same for all the creations. Like that, Brahman is from where everything is come. So the knowledge is achieved. But that knowledge is a textual knowledge. That is why when we do the meditation, the Ekagra Manasa, when you have that mind concentrated on one knowledge or the awareness, we realize that as our Aparokshanubhava, that Atma Brahma is one and the same. I am not the individual with Jagrat Swapna Sushupti. But my experience on day-to-day living is that I am a person who is undergoing Jagrat Swapna Sushupti. So how does this knowledge and the living of Jagrat Swapna Sushupti helpful? Krishna says, Yoga Bhavati Dukkha. This yoga, the practice that has now become effective when he moderates in all aspects of his Jagrat Swapna Sushupti. The Jagrat Swapna Sushupti moderation, which he is saying that such a thing, it is moderation means it is not the controlling our activities, physical activities of waking, dream and deep sleep. It becomes a natural after effect when we realize that we are neither the waker, dreamer or deep sleeper. If we continue to believe that we are the waker, dreamer and deep sleep, we will be at the mercy of the indriyas, the mind, the intellect, the ahankara, chitta, etc. And we cannot be a yukta ahara vihara. How can we be regulated? See, the word yukta means one who has yoked the knowledge. It is not regulated, actually speaking. One who has yoked his activities of waking, dream and deep sleep with the knowledge which he has achieved in the meditation, dhyana. Only then this yoga becomes dukkha. How does it become dukkha? Destroyer of suffering. See, the decisive complete elimination, not the temporary relief that pleasant experience provides during the aparoksha anubhava, but it should give a permanent dissolution to the root cause of suffering. What is the root cause of suffering? The root cause of suffering is the identification or the adhyasa, or with that aham is now identified as dehatma buddhi, the body-mind complex. That is the root cause for suffering. So how does the yoga destroys or strikes down this suffering? It can do it only when we realize that I am neither the enjoyer nor the cause action, a doer, or actor or enjoyer. Akarta abhokta. I am neither the doer of the waking, dream and deep sleep, nor the enjoyer of the waking, dream and deep sleep activities. Tebhyo vilakshana sakshi. I am the witness who knows the waking, dream and deep sleep. So when yukta ahara vihara yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta sapnava bodhasya, when Krishna said that only that person who has done this, he has yoked or he has identified that waking, dream and deep sleep are not his. They are guna guneshu vartande. They are the nature of awareness as waker, dreamer and deep sleeper. I am neither the waker nor the dreamer nor the deep sleeper. He is the one who is yukta ahara vihara yukta cheshtasya yukta avabodhasya swapnasya. This disengagement into the individuality as the waker, dreamer and deep sleeper of our life, the individuality, the aham, the ego, that aspect is the one which is getting destroyed by the yoga. By when we identify that aham brahmasmi, or I am the Brahman, or there is no difference between Brahma and Atma. This is being indicated by Krishna when these statements are being given in the prakarana or in the treatise where he is discussing about dhyana. Otherwise, dhyana is of useless activity for me. By doing the sitting on on a seat which is neither high nor low, made of grass, skin and the cloth, and then I am making mind alone, ekagra chittaha, all those things, and then knowing that I am Brahman, that knowledge should be practical to me for getting my moksha. And what is the moksha? Moksha is dukkha. So when he said that yogaham bhavati dukkha, that yoga is the moksha itself. Bhavati, it becomes, not that it is being given that yoga becomes the liberation, freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom from suffering. That is the dukkha, which he is putting in the clear-cut definition. Avidya is the dukkha, that I am the body, mind, intellect, that identification. That identification should be eliminated or destroyed. How will I destroy my elimination of I am the body, mind, intellect? Only when I realize that I am neither waker nor the dreamer nor the deep sleeper. Only in that case that this knowledge becomes a eliminator of my sufferings. Now Krishna goes further. Yada viniyatam chittam atmanni avatishtate nisprahaha sarvakamebhyaho yukta ityuchyate tada. Yada tada. When, as and when, then. That is, yada chittam viniyatam tat sat atmani avatishtate yada sa chasaha sarvakamebhyaha nisprahaha bhavati tada saha yukta ityuchyate. He becomes a yukta. Because remember, we started with Arurukshu Aruda, or the yogin who is becoming a yukta. Now just when he mentioned the fruit of meditation is identification with Atma Brahma was explained in that verse, the 14th verse. Here he is saying that he becomes a liberated person, yuktaha. When the chitta thoroughly governed rests in Atman alone. The chitta means here the identification or the latent impression, what we thinking, making us to feel that we are the human being. The chitta is the one from where the ahankara or the aham bodha is able to identify with the body, mind, intellect, physical being as a human being. It is not the nature of ahankara to be the body, mind, intellect. The nature of ahankara, when the chitta or the memory or latent impression is not there, the same ahankara becomes aham brahmasmi. He is the one who says I am Brahman. There are no two antakarana for that. So when this chitta, means the antakarana, includes mind, intellect, ahankara and chitta, memory, etc. all of them, Viniyatam Sat Atmani Eva Avatishtate. Yet in the Atman alone is rest. That means he identifies with the Atman. The Ahankara do not say that I am the body, mind, intellect complex as Bindo or Prasad or Prakash or Revati or Venkat or anybody for that matter. All of us, we are identifying with the waker because of the potency in the memory to go back to the identity of the human beingness. When we go back to that saying that I am Prasad Prakash, I am Bindu, I am Revati, I am Venkat or anybody, Chitchidananda, when we say that, the Andakarana is not abiding that I am Atman. But Krishna says, when you succeed in living all the time, that is the important thing. Not only while meditating, after that, in our waking dream and deep sleep, even when that waking dream and deep sleep is happening, the chitta, the one which gives rise to our identification, instead of identifying with the body, mind, intellect complex, it should identify itself with the awareness or the consciousness, which is functioning unabated in waking, dream, deep sleep, and the turiya avastha. Tebhyo vilakshana chichin matroham sadashiva. That fourth state where Mandukya Karika said, no Mandukya, this thing, Nanda Prajnam Nabhi Prajnam No Veda Prajnam. That state, Sa Atma Sa Vitneyaha, that is the Atma which is being referred here. Atmani Eva Avatishtate. And when that Avatishta is taking place, Yada Stacha Sarva Kamebhya Nisprikha Bhavati. He is not having any longing towards any of the desires as either waker, dreamer or deep sleeper. The desires are divided in between these three. The desires of the waking we are familiar with. The desires which spring up in our dream, which was not to be fulfilled in the waking, comes up in the dream to be fulfilled as a dream's experience, so that the desires are fulfilled in the dream. And the dream for peace and, loneliness or that state of total rest from all the desires and the tiring activities, the indriyas and the manobuddhi, ahankara, chitta is happening, the andakarana goes for a total rest in a deep sleep. So when sarva kamebhya nispriha bhavati means he is totally detached with the waker, dreamer and deep sleep. And he rests in the Atmani avabodhe. Avatishthati. Tada sayuktaha iti uchyate. That is the time when he is called a jnani or a yukta or a yogi or a jivan mukta. All those things happens at that time. See the way, the logic with which Krishna has developed these verses. He didn't stop at the meditation saying that is the time when you realize. And after that, what? We go back to our routine life, going back to the, mundane life and with all the problems. So what was the benefit of getting that avastha in the meditation? The avastha in the meditation should be a permanent one where the avabodha or the identification by the individual is always with the Atma, and then he remains engaged in the world, knowing very well that he is the Atma and not the waker, dreamer and deep sleeper. This aspect is what is being conveyed in this verse where he says, Yada vinidam chittam atmani avatishtade nisprihaha sarvagamebhyaha yuktasa tuchyate tata. That is very clear from the verses that the yoga which has been mentioned in the earlier verses 10 to 14 is not a activity per se which has a beginning and an end, like our waking and sleeping, dreaming and waking up, or activities in the waking itself. But it is a transformation or a transcendence that takes shape in the individual, whereby he continues as a transformed or transcendent person in all his day-to-day activities. Then only it will become dukkha, a liberation or a freedom from the identification problems which we have in waking, dream and deep sleep, where we are suffering. We have a birth and a death. Because Krishna said, na jayate mriyate va katachit in the earlier verses. That has to become a reality, no? Krishna cannot tell a lie and then say that, after doing the meditation, we go back to our day-to-day mundane life where we feel that we are born and dead, we are going, death and decay is our reality, etc. No. All the statements which Krishna said from the beginning of the second chapter till now is real and permanent only when we are remaining as yuktahara viharasya, yuktacheshtasya, karmasu, yukta swapnava bodhasya, yogi bhavati sarvada. That will become only a transformation in us. The shifting of the identification from the body, mind, intellect to the Atma, the consciousness, the awareness, in which all these appearances are coming and going. That is what is indicated in these three verses. Now he is concluding that treatise of the benefit of meditation in the 19th verse finally. Yada deepo nivasastehe na ingate sopama smrita yogina yata chittasya yunjato yogatmana. Yada nivasasta deepaha na ingate. Just as a lamp placed in a windless spot does not flicker or wave, it is steady and straight. Sa upama, that simile, yogam atmanaha yunjataha yata chittasya yoginaha smrita. The yoginaha who has now become yunjataha, who have succeeded in what is yatachittasya yoginaha yunjataha is the adjective and the subject. The yogi whose chitta has been yataha means identified with Atman. Yogam Atmanaha Yunjataha. Through yoga who has, yoked his identity with the Atman. He is having smrita. He is having a memory, or he remembers, or he knows himself. Here smrita is used because it is in the antakarana. This knowledge is not bringing any physical transformation to our body, mind, intellect, but to our being in the inner antakarana. And that is why he is using the word smrita. Like what? Like the lamp in a windless spot do not flicker, the same way we have never a doubt whether we are Atman or not. That continuous permanency in which the lamp is burning is an example. Upama, yogina smritaha, the yogis who have now become yukta atma, yukta chetaha. He remembers this, that Atma, I am Brahmatmi, Aham Brahmasmi. That thought is the one which is eternal, unwavering, and permanent. If we have not succeeded in our meditation, we cannot put them in practice in our day-to-day life as waking dreamer and deep sleeper. But the one who has yogi bhavati, yoga bhavati, he becomes a yukta when yatachittasya yogina. The identification, the chitta, the vasana or the memory, which takes us as a human being, as individuals of Bindu, etc., that gets replaced with the Atmanaha Yunjataha, identification that I am the awareness, consciousness. And that thought, that smriti, remains with us unabated, unwavering, like a lamp in a windless spot is steady and illuminating us same way. With this, Krishna concludes this aspect of the usage of the meditation in our practical life. Then the next 4 verses have to be taken together, 20 to 24, which we will do it in the next week, where he is moving to a subject. Yatra paramate chittam niruddham yoga sevaya. Yatra cha eva atmana atmanam pasyan atmani tushyati. That means he is now talking about the benefits of that, how it is not only in our day-to-day life, we have eliminated ourselves as the human beings, or the memory which is there in our mind as I am the individual. I am identifying myself with the Atman. What happens further is being explained from verse 20 to 24, which we will do in the next week. So I'll stop here, and then we will continue the 20th verse from the next week. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you. Dhanyavada.
Thank you very much, Bindoji. I've opened the chat and hand raising. If any of you want to come up and have a question to ask or clarification.
Okay. We will continue in next week.
Okay.
Prakash.
Yes. Thank you everyone for coming. So as a gentle reminder, our schedule is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6:30 a.m. IST. And so we will resume the classes, the 10th class of chapter 6 on Tuesday at 6:30 a.m. IST. If you want to listen to the replay of this room or the earlier rooms, they are available in Clubhouse, in the house, if you go to the house. Or you can access them in the channel shared in the chat. One is a YouTube channel, the other one is Apple Podcasts, and the third one is Spotify. And as always, Bindoji recommends that we do the Shravana Manana on every verse at least once or twice, that we have the continuity, but also a direct appreciation of the practice involved. As always, heartfelt thanks, Bindoji. Over to you to close the room.
Thank you, Prakash. Thank you all for listening. We will continue our series on next Tuesday, 6:30 a.m. Indian time. Over. Hari Om. Thank you. Have a good day.
Have a good day, Bindoji.